Hello, everyone. I'm Olivia Cipriano, Manager of Programs and Operations at the Hudson River Museum, and it is my pleasure to introduce today's program, Layered Landscapes, a virtual studio demonstration. Enjoy a behind-the-scenes view into the artistic process of teaching artist in residence, Julia Santos Solomon, as she explores how different materials elicit images from her subconscious. Inspired by landscape art and virtual travel, journey with our artist as hidden memories emerge to find form as abstract landscapes. If you'd like to work alongside with Julia, the required materials are masonite board, glass palette, scraping knives, oil sticks, cold wax, perforated textures, baby wipes, and rags or paper towels, or any materials that you can find around the house that would work. Together, we will discover connections to the themes explored in landscape art and virtual travel, highlights from the collections of the HRM and Art Bridges, whom we thank for their support of today's program. It is now my honor to tell you a little bit about today's guest artist, Julia Santos Solomon. Julia is a contemporary Dominican artist who has been creating paintings, sculptures, and digital media for over 40 years. Her vision has shaped generations of successful Latinx artists, and she's as a founding member of Altos de Chavon School of Design, and she taught fashion illustration and design at Parsons School of Design in New York. Santos Solomon's work has been exhibited and collected nationally and abroad, represented in permanent collections at Latin Art Museum, Indiana University Museum, Museo de Arte Moderno, Altos de Chavon Foundation, and here in Yonkers at the Hudson River Museum. She's archived at the Smithsonian Archives of American Art and the Dominican Studies Institute at CUNY. Her work has also been featured in multiple exhibitions at the HRM, including Woman to the Fore and the ongoing exhibition Landscape Art and Virtual Travel. So Julia, without further ado, take it away.
Welcome everyone. This is my studio where I create, and I want to tell you how it is that I'm working with you today. I have a very loose abstract landscape that I did a while ago with oil sticks. And when I looked at it, it seems a little bit chaotic. There are parts of it that I like, but I would like to change it. And what I did first was to create a palette of all the oil stick colors that I have. That way, when I reach to work, I know where they are. I like knowing the position. Some artists work differently. They're a little bit more loose and they're very spontaneous. But I enjoy having order around the color because once I get thinking, I just want to go. Oil sticks are phenomenal material. They're spontaneous, they're quick, they fill out a whole surface very, very fast. They do dry like oil, so they do need a bit of drying time, but it's a spontaneous and wonderful material. Now, I'm really blessed because these oil sticks were created in the city of Kingston, which is 20 minutes from me. And it's created in a wonderful factory called R&F. R&F has been around since the 80s, and they are the predominant creators for encaustic paints, and they distribute those paints to all over the country. What's great about R&F is the quality of the pigments that they use. So their quality is high, so the pigmentation is really beautiful. So I enjoy going to R&F, talking to the people in the factory, asking them questions about where the pigments come from. And quite often they have this beautiful space where they teach once in a while, I can go there and rent it and bring multiple panels, and I just play for a day. I get to use their materials for free, and I just go crazy experimenting. So I want you to know about RNF in Kingston. So that being said, one of the things that I would like to do with this painting is to make some choices about adding and subtracting. I took out a stencil that I have. I gather textures and I put them in a bin. And when those textures are brought out, they suggest things to me. So this is an unused stencil. It happened to be in that bin. And I thought, oh, that's a really interesting thing, and I should use it. So I am looking through my stencil for pieces of this landscape. And I like this because it has a lot of texture, and I want to block around it. So let me see. I think I'm going to use a little black. This is a warm black. Just going to use it to block a little and say, let's look at this part of the painting instead. And then I'm going to use some cold wax. Cold wax allows you to mix the colors the way you would. It's like using linseed oil. So what I would do, let's see, I wanted to use something not too obvious. I'm going to use this warm color right here to create a little bit of a, I'm going to mix it well. I'm going to create a little film that I can play with. So what's great about this is you can just do things and change your mind if you want to. But here, as you can see, the oil stick has now become very creamy. And I'm going to take a small brayer. I have to make sure it's loaded up properly, that I have enough color on it. Take the small brayer and stencil this leaf. Because what I want to do is just create a layer and to give some distance to the images that are, well, the activity that's going on underneath it. So when I stencil, I like to make sure that the edges of the stencil are covered. And I'm going to pick it up. Let me see. I'm going to pick it up with some tweezers and see what I got. Oh, that is interesting. Now, I can also use a brush. I'm going to take just a little cold wax on my brush and soften this black edge I created here. Because I have enough, the oil stick on the panel is pretty juicy, and it allows me to just spread it. Okay, so doing this allows me to bring a little bit of focus to this area. Now I'm wondering, I'm thinking about all these other marks, but I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep spreading this a bit and see what happens. I'm going to try a different approach. There's a color here that I absolutely love, and it's this turquoise. I don't know if you can see, but I have all of this texture that I created there before. That. And I have some foam brushes here. Let me see. Let me take the same color and bring it around here. See what happens. So what I am doing is just spontaneously making some color choices. You know, sometimes when I play with color like that, I will come in with a razor and I will pick something up by removing it. I just kind of removed that. And let me see, I like this pink. There's a pink I like a whole lot. I'm going to put it inside where the leaf is. So all of this activity out here is drawing my attention, but I do want to quiet it down. Sometimes I'll take a portion of a stick, take a portion of this turquoise, which I like. I'm going to cut it off. And I remove the protective wrapping. Now I'm thinking, you know, what happens if I use this on the side? Ooh, I like that orange. I'll leave a little bit of that orange in there. Sometimes I can come in, I need a bigger brush with a brush. Okay, so I'm gonna come in with a brush, some on this and go, well, can I use this? Can I spread this out a little differently? So what I'm exploring really is different ways to apply this color. And what happens if I remove something and then I leave it in? So the stick allows me to apply the pigment really, really thickly and very directly. And then the brush allows me to spread it out a little bit. The brush says, okay, well, now you're using a different, oh, I like this. You see that? Where it doesn't, where some of the bottom comes through. In here, with some of the bottom texture. What happens if I rub my hand over it? Ooh, let's try that. And do my fingers. And what I'm seeing is that some things that have texture underneath I kind of like this finger texture because I can feel the panel. I'm a very tactile person. And I can feel everything that's been on here before. So I have some encaustic wax in this corner here. And I can feel it with my finger. Writing this down, writing this down. I have, I'm gonna take a chopstick and draw with it. I'll draw a leaf. So I have enough color there to allow me to just scrape a shape out of this. I kind of like that. Okay, things are happening in this corner, but as you can see, this is a very large piece. So I'm going to move along and make some more decisions. Let's see, what's another lovely color? I like this kind of warm green. Thing about oil sticks, you need to keep peeling them back. I'm trying to figure out if I actually like this big pink shape here. So I'll just emphasize it and make a decision about it. So this deeper color is reading very, very differently than the other one. So now I'm going to go ahead and pick some other wax from my, ooh, look at that. I'm not sure I like this lighter color with it, but I'm just gonna go with it. Sometimes it's okay to just say, not for me, but something else will crop up. So what makes this a subconscious process is really just allowing your hand to move without too much judgment or thinking. What you're doing is allowing things to come up. And there's an awful lot of experimentation with that. Well, I do like this little branch that I have done previously. Still not sure. Oh, fun. As I draw with my chopstick here, I can see that there's some alizarin crimson here in the back. Ooh, there's some thick wax here. Like pink coming through. And I'm not sure 100% yet that I want to keep this. But until I make a decision to do something else, I'm just going to keep moving with it. I don't like this. Okay, I understand. So I'm going to cover that up with, I think I'll use a neutral. Well, I've got a yellow ochre here. I do prefer this to what I had there before. In order to simplify what I'm looking at, I'm just going to use the same turquoise because the turquoise will unify my colors. Now here's a little tiny branch that I really do like. It was scraped out of the surface. And here's another branch I like. I'm gonna keep these branches. There's a little kind of, this looks like a little pomegranate seed here. I think I'll keep the pomegranate seed. So on a piece this big, it's possible for me to use my entire turquoise stick. Because it's a large surface. I like that other branch. I'm not sure I like this branch as much, but let's give it a chance. Let me look at it. But I will simplify the space in between. I'm going to come in and fill this in with turquoise so I can focus on the branch. Sometimes when I have too much on an image and it seems chaotic to me, basically eliminating a lot of it helps me rediscover either something new or something that was already there that is now very interesting. There's something exciting about the reds and the kind of explosive yellow up there. I'm happier with this. Let me get a bit more. Yeah, this one's gonna go. I'm gonna use this entire stick today. I can see it happen. Okay, so I was here. It's important to wear gloves. You could just completely, not only do you get the all sticks on your fingers and your hands, but you would get it on all of your supplies. So I'm looking at this dark spot next to this black. I think, again, if I unify it with this neutral, it would look better. Now, because I'm applying the color in a very saturated way, and it's raining, it's going to take a little while for this piece to actually dry. What happens if I come up here and I just kind of introduce this color? I do like keeping that. So what I'm doing really is just feeling. I'm feeling the temperature of this surface. And I am just responding to it. I think I may remove this yellow here. It's very hot. I have some spaces here between these white shapes, and I may just put some pink here. Pink coming through the white that's already there. I'm wondering, well, is that interesting or not? Well, suddenly the pink here is talking to the pink there. So maybe I'll continue to use the pink. Maybe I'll use the pink here between what I think were little branches that I had drawn. So now this pink and this pink and this pink are beginning to talk to each other. Now I have to want to approach the upper corner gently. By gently, I mean I have to decide if I want to cover it with the turquoise or leave some remnants of it. I think I'll start by redrawing this dark blue from the past with the turquoise. Let's see what that does. You I prefer what's happening now, where I can actually see the white. I apologize, my phone will ring until it stops, but I will not answer it. I like that better. It seems much more cohesive. And now I think that I will remove this same hot dark blue and replace it with my neutral turquoise. It's funny to think of turquoise as a neutral, but in my case, because I love intensity and I love color and I love all these things, this mid-range color I am using as a mid-tone. So it's not extremely deep and it's not extremely soft, not extremely light, but I am using it as a neutral in my case. So I'm finding the white here next to the pink. It's just more interesting now to me. So I will keep interrupting the white with my neutral and make different shapes with it. So I'm approaching the yellow with caution. Here I'm applying the color with my thumb. I do enjoy doing that, really feeling the surface beneath. Because I'm using a wooden panel, I can press. You know, for this material, you don't want a surface that gives. You want something that's going to resist your touch. I'm pausing and thinking, but not really thinking. I'm pausing and going, how much yellow do you want really? Where do you want that yellow? I don't know. So why don't you try? I'm going to try to apply another color. Okay, I have really liked this green. Try this green here again, because this just looks like dirty color to me. I don't like it when color looks untrue, meaning it's kind of wishy-washy. It's neither dark or light or medium. It's just sort of like indecisive. And when I added this color here, I have mixed it. I'm making my little branches a little bit more interesting here. I'm going to go for yet another color. So dark, no, I don't want a red. Do I want a red? Some beautiful pinks and reds. Pink is here. The neutral is there. I'm not feeling that corner, but I'm going to let it be. I'm going to turn my canvas around so I have a better view of it. What's really happening here? I need to work this bottom edge. So I'm going to turn around. I can look at the bottom edge in a different way. Okay, so now, see if I can mix a really fun color. I'm going to clean up my palette a little. So I want to have some room to create something clean. I have a glass, I always have glass palettes, and I remove excess color with a razor blade. Kind of allows me to do it quickly. Pick up the excess color. When you do this, you want to give yourself unrestricted time. By that I mean, don't do it when you have to go to an appointment afterwards. Because you're going to get dirty, and you also will have switched your mind, your brain, from kind of linear thinking to totally from left brain thinking to right brain thinking. So you want to stay in your right brain. The right brain is going to look at relationships. I can tell looking at this from this point of view that I really don't care for all that pink down there. So we'll see what I do. I'm just letting my eye talk to me, my hands. Okay, so I'm going to mix maybe a nice mixed color. Like, what happens if I mix a yellow with a green? It's kind of a sad green. Let's use the brighter green. Yeah, let's use the brighter green. Yeah, let's mix these two colors together. And where's my palette knife? Didn't mix a whole lot of it, did I? But I am experimenting. First, I want a color that I like. I think I will mix that again. Mix a larger quantity of that color. That means I have to peel my oil stick back. Here we go. Ooh, that's an interesting color. Ooh, I'm kind of liking this color. How would I like to apply it though? I like this color. How about I try I do like it. Yeah, it's interesting. It's like a one green. So what my eye is doing is replacing the bright yellow with this bright green. I'm not sure it's the right move, but I wouldn't know unless I tried it. I'm using the sponge brush because it gets this area covered quickly. So there's something happening here that I like. This is still a mess in my mind's eye. I'm going to come back and remove some of this pink because I'm not convinced that I need that much of it. Sometimes even the things that I like, I have to sacrifice to simplicity. Somehow that seems a little more cohesive to me. I'm not sure that it's the last version of it. Just removed a little bit of that color with some tulle. That is a warm color. And I'm bringing it to another piece of canvas. Oh, that's kind of nice. I'm seeing if I can lay some of that warm color over here. Oh, very sweet. I do like that. It's quieting down these colors. So maybe what I should do is some more quieting. When you get your color on your brayer, keep mixing it until it becomes uniform. So I've got some yellow ochre on it. I'm just gently putting some yellow ochre through this tulle. Oh, I like that much better. Oh, let's do it again. Tulle is very inexpensive when you go to, oh yeah, I like it. When you go to the fabric stores, sometimes I get different density of tulle. I end up using this mid grade because I can get color through it fairly easily. And it's another way of mixing color together at the end of the day, we're just mixing this neutral that just seems better integrated. So I can still pick up color from the palette with my brayer. As long as I can pick it up, I'm gonna keep playing with it. Let me go back here. The same to the bottom marks. Yeah, makes so much. What happens if I start breaking up this black? Can't see a thing. That color is too dark. Can't see it. There we go. Oh, look at that. So now I picked up that dark color and it is now on my neutral. So I'm mixing a different color here. So dark value neutral. So I've got a warm dark green with a yellow ochre, and I kind of like this color. But what will it do when I put it down? I think I have to continue to simplify. This is better, but it's not right in my eye yet. So you might be asking yourself, well, how do I know when it's right? Actually, you have to let your eyes guide you. You have to trust that. You know, I'm going to turn this around again because I want to get to this other side. I want to get back to this. It's very wet. So I'm going to pick up some of the color. I'm pressing the palm of my hand into the spot, and you can see I'm picking up color. Sometimes these become interesting, but Olivia, you have someone who wants to be admitted, Nancy.
Oh, Nancy's already admitted. So she's in here. She's actually one of our staff members from Advancement.
Okay, welcome, Nancy. So I'm putting on and taking off. I'm putting on and taking off. Now, I will continue to unify if this wood area allows it. So as I apply my neutral here, of course it's mixing with the dark color from before. I'm going to do a little drawing with my razor blade. I love drawing with my razor blade. And what I think I'm going to do is pick up some shapes here. Ooh, I like that. That light that's coming through from what was there before. There it is again. Ooh, fun. Much more fun. Yeah, I like it. Olivia, if anyone has questions, I'd be happy to answer them because I know I'm doing a whole lot of stuff here.
I am just having a great time observing. Let me make Nancy a co-host so she can unmute, and if she has any questions, she can definitely ask. But I'm just enjoying watching you work.
I am too. I think it's just fascinating to be sharing your time, Julia, while you're creating freely with, almost without an audience. Just I feel like I'm participating in a very intimate situation here. So thank you.
You're so welcome. I'm so happy you're here. I really do work this way. And sometimes I go, why on earth did you do that? Go back and change it. I love a razor blade. There are two supplies I cannot do without. Razor blades and push pins. Everything else I can improvise, but a razor blade does something very, very unique. What happens if I scrape a little here? Ooh, yeah, I like that.
That's great.
Yeah, it's like little half moons. I'm not sure. But because I have so much stuff underneath, you see these little fans? They're just fun.
It's fascinating to see how the layers work for you and how you uncover things later on, etc. It's quite intriguing. It's very fun to be here with you, Julia.
I'm so thrilled you're here. You're very, very welcome. Because this is how I...
Look at those colors under there.
Yeah, it's really... That's why it makes it worth it to just keep pushing. I don't know what I'll end up with. But I had something here. I had like a little wiggly shape that I took. But I'm pushing, by the way, I'm pushing very hard on the razor blade and turning it because I need to be able to scrape. Ooh, yeah. You know what? I like all of this more than any of that. What that means is I'm going to have to find a way to just quickly cover that so I can do this. nice texture here. All right, so it's time for me to kind of give up the green. Green is not doing what I want it to do. And I have to be quick to just accept it. And go there. See if I need to remove. I'm going to remove some first so that I can lay down the turquoise. There's something interesting about it's like life, you know, you go through stuff. You go through life and you do things happen to you, and it makes an image. And later, you can come back and change that image. The thing that happened to you can go underneath, and you can create something very beautiful on top. Okay, here we go. I'm erasing here. All right, you're cute, but not that cute. I like you, but not that much. Uh-oh, I'm running out of my neutral here. When I first did this image, I was looking outside a window at RNF. And that's where I got this sort of very loose landscape feeling. Yeah, I'm having trouble giving that up, but you know what? It's got to go. Don't be precious about it, particularly if you find something you really, really like. Like I really, really like the scraping. I'm not going to hold on to something that's not going to be fun with the scraping. The scraping is more powerful. When I put my hands over it, it's to imagine what it would be like without it. I think right now this is competing with that. And let's simplify it. It's going to give me something better. So it's like life, you know, you go through things and things affect you and they look a certain way. Then you can come back and say, well, maybe that was just my childhood, or maybe that was just my teen years, or maybe that was just whatever. And now I have all this experience. Well, you acquire experience as you go. But the truth is that now you have a way to create something new out of it. So this is all gray and I don't really love it, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a cleaner, sharper razor blade. I use single edge razor blade. I've used them since I was in high school. I used to sharpen my pencils with them. And then over the years, it's just become a working tool. So now I'm saying to myself, hey, I think I'll make something more interesting than what I had. I'm going to try another blade. Don't know what it will do, but I switched scales. Ooh, tiny. That looks like a little fan. I like that. I'm using an X-Acto blade. It's a little harder for me to manage because it has the, yeah. Let me see what happens if I bring it up here. Because this area of the painting had very subtle color, what I'm scraping is a little quieter than what I had over there. Didn't get rid of this. I should have gotten rid of it. I still have a chance to do it. Still have a chance to claim some of this stuff. So that's more interesting than the little branches I had there. So let's see. So from here, now I'm getting into some of the darker colors that were here before. And that's just more interesting too. Thank goodness I have a large studio because I tend to use my whole body when doing this. And I need room. Tell you what. Where's my, I was liking those, but I don't like this part as much, okay? Okay, we'll just have to keep improvising. I'm gonna get a brand new razor blade. What happens if I come in here where I had the pink? Ooh. I like that. Yeah, much more interesting than those 3 globs of pink that I had before. You know what's strange? I am from the Caribbean and I can't help always making some reference to that. But these look like little swimming something or others to me. And even though I like the slime when I was drawing it, I'm going to get rid of some of it. You know, in life, when you need to make a change, you have to be brave about it. You know, just cover it. Just do it. Give it up so you can get something better happening. Oh, I'm liking these a lot more. Okay. So the purpose of those globs before is to allow me to make these new fans. So when I don't get rid of something and it doesn't fit into the later picture, I just have to go back and make sure I remove it. Now, if I wanted to clean this color, I don't know if you can see, it's a little bit dirty, gray. I would have to wait for the oil stick to dry. So a brand new razor blade is giving me a cleaner edge. And it's allowing me to have a lovely shape. Sometimes, you know, in an image, there'll be a part I really like, but unfortunately, that's the part that needs to go in order to make something new happen. I know this is all dark. See what happens. So we'll see what happens if I pull one of these out. Oh my goodness, look at that. Yeah. That's got beautiful red in it. So this is now being populated by this different shape, a controlled shape that is created by scraping in a very specific way, a way that I like to scrape. Now I'm thinking this is kind of corny, but I'm not going to make that decision yet. I'm going to stick to the areas that, oh, when the blade this looks like jellyfish in the water to me. So I was saying before that somehow where, you know, my landscapes, even though they're very abstract and I'm really pulling out of a place that I cannot articulate to you, somehow it always brings back a memory for me of the Caribbean. So all of the color blending and all of the texture, that's all already been done. And it's in there. So much more interesting to me. Really, really it is.
I love how you're using different like techniques almost with the razor blade. Oh, one moment.
Okay.
Yeah, and I love the way that you're using these different techniques in different ways, but we are running out of time, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, we are.
But it has been just incredible watching you. Are there any closing statements that you have for us? Well, I know that your piece isn't completely finished yet, but it's still a work in progress. But are there any closing statements that you do have for us for this type of work?
Yeah, you have to be extremely loose and not afraid to fill your surface. Start with something, anything. I mean, I started with a landscape from outside. Then don't be afraid to change it completely. I mean, by adding stuff and taking stuff out. I think the biggest message about this kind of work is that by covering and then removing, you are creating something that is unexpected, that is much more interesting, and that is coming from your subconscious. So don't be afraid to do this. Just allow it to happen. Give stuff up because it will resurface. It'll come back to you in a different way. So that's really the most important thing. This piece will have to dry a little more. And then I can continue playing with it. And I am so much happier with this version of it than with the first version. And this truly is subconscious. It's just coming from a place that I cannot tell you that I am directing. I'm just doing. So you just do and trust. Put it down and take it off.
Thank you so much, Julia. Nancy, did you have something to say?
I have just so enjoyed this so much, Julia. It's shown me the way you work is so free and it's so of the moment. And for you to put things down and know that they don't have to remain exactly the way that they appear when you first put them down, and that they're going to morph into something as you work beyond is really interesting to watch you do this. The other thing that's very interesting is that I feel like your origins of being from the Caribbean are very apparent in this work. And I don't mean to be so, I don't mean to be obvious. I don't mean to be, but it's so there. It's as you worked with the razor blades, it felt like you were remembering things from the sea down in the Caribbean. And you made some comments about that. And so it's been such a treat to spend the time with you very intimately. Didn't want to say too much while you were working because I just love the commentary of you talking while you were doing your work. It's been a real treat. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. I am so excited that that's how you feel. I'm so excited that you got to see it. And the reason I made that face is because it always comes back to me as well. Like I'm not expecting to see jellyfish here. It comes back to me. I'm like, what? That's a jellyfish. Where did that come from? It came from my subconscious.
The jellyfish, and the other things looked so much like shells. And as you went through from, moments went by and you made some comments, and it was like, wow, that's where it is. But I've enjoyed so much the work that I've seen also at the Hudson River Museum that you've done, that have shown your personal profiles of your, their personal, well, I'll say profiles. It's your face through your whole lifetime. Was such a treat to see that as it developed, and all your other works have been really, really nice to see. And I hope people will come to the museum and visit your work as well.
It's a wonderful museum, and I'm so grateful to be in collaboration with you, because your values of the museum and my values really are closely aligned. And I know I had a friend who came in from the Bronx. She came in to see the work, and she was so excited to actually discover the museum, go to the planetarium, see other parts of it. And, I feel like I have this mission to send people to you because of this relationship that we have. And I am so grateful that you were here in the studio with me.
I'm so grateful as well. Julia, again, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to work with you. And for anybody watching on YouTube, if you have any questions about the museum, you're welcome to go visit www.hrm.org. We have our current exhibitions always up there. And we also have a calendar tab, which you can hit on, and you can find any upcoming programs that we have like this in the future. So thank you again, Julia, and thank you to everyone who is watching, and thank you, Nancy, for attending today. Everyone have a great day.